Oh, and I think I have no more questions now. I can't remember what it was, but I'll
Okay. Maybe like a little bit of opposing view. I think one of the things that makes Canada, that kind of unites us in terms of like causes probably things around regulation and policy and things like that. But other than that, I don't know why we spend so much time thinking about how do we connect the dots between the Canadian ecosystem. I think we need to do more to highlight Canadian success stories in the world. And we have too many well-known Canadian blockchain entrepreneurs that are only well-known in Canada. They're not well-known anywhere else. We're only well-known in Toronto. And I think we kind of do ourselves a disservice by not kind of beating our chests and bragging a little bit more on a global stage and making more of an effort to be visible elsewhere. Because if not, a lot of the work that we do, I think some of the most influential people in our space are people that are actually probably under-known in Canada, but known elsewhere. They're probably not here today, but teams like ChainSafe, spend most of their time on the road telling the world how great their work is, and kind of rare does it come up that they happen to be a Canadian company, but they're now developing a global reputation. I think Blockchain Labs is quite similar. And I think that's probably more important because I think we want people to recognize this as like a hub for development or a hub for good ideas. We only do that by kind of convincing the rest of the world that we have ideas that we're sharing. I don't think there's anything wrong with connecting the dots between Toronto and Calgary and Montreal and others, but it shouldn't be the end all be all because a big part of this technology is to transcend that kind of those borders and start thinking about how does our technology matter.
So connecting the dots, that's what it was. So what I think we really need to do is not all of us know what's going on and which companies are in Alberta or like Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto. And I think what we would all benefit from is kind of an ecosystem map. Whether, if we can, for example, who's working on real estate, who's working on law, people can be working on multiple things because some of our platforms do multiple things. But I think that's something that can be effectively crowdsourced. And it's also a tool to communicate with government. So back to the right part, our industry hasn't come together yet. And you have the Steel Association, they come in, they get to talk to the minister, right? Because they represent so many jobs, so many people, so much investment, but it's so much harder for a team of 5 to go and talk to a minister and you just don't get that same clout. So that's why, whether it's an association or a coalition or a consortium, it's important to have something. I know we don't all agree necessarily, but we're still early in, and we need to have something that we can talk to the Prime Minister, we can talk to the Minister of Finance, and I think there's enough that we can connect that or align on. For example, let's have more discussions than just a consultation paper we send our details in. We need to have broader education. What we see in the US, for example, the SEC, they have televised workshops where industry comes in, it's not Cointelegraph, the other one. Can't remember the name. But anyway, the point is the industry experts go sit in front of the Senate, they sit in front of government, and they talk and they try to educate. And we haven't really seen that here in Canada. Way back we have, but not recently. Yeah. We need to educate.
It is beginning to happen. I had the Honorable Minister Karina Gould yesterday on the phone with the head of data privacy for the federal government as well as policymakers. So they are taking an interest, and I think they're having conversations. But I would actually echo Matt's points. I think there's a lot to learn from how Silicon Valley, as an example, uses media outlets to promote its different platforms. And there's something wrong with that inherently. But at the same time, you want news to the world, and you want to send a message. You probably need a platform to be able to do that that's unified. And I think that there is probably some benefit in working with other people and understanding what's happening in different jurisdictions in Canada. That's fantastic, but I don't think that that's necessarily the focus. I think it's a more global perspective.
But even sharing, so it's so important. We don't know that we're talking to a minister, but having some kind of platform to know what's being said and what we are engaging, I think is important.
Great. So I think now I want to leave this space to 2 questions from the public. So we have a very diverse roundtable. Think about something that you would like to learn, that you would like to consult on. So we're going to take 2 questions from you guys.
The question from anyone to anyone?
Question from anyone to the table. like a general question.
Okay, no, I'm just quickly like the permutations in my mind that can go
If
like
you have personal questions, you can also reach out.
983,000.
Excel spreadsheet for that.
Actually, I'm extremely compelled with what you've actually raised. Is raising the bar for communication between us and the rest of the world is extremely important. I mean, the entire blockchain industry in the world, like I said earlier, those are numbers barely scratching the surface at 0.2% at its peak. And rather than folks trying to snatch each other on that or whatnot, there's a lot of collaborations that can raise the bar and get us to remaining 99.8%, which I'm hoping that we can get there in the crowd bringing something to the planet. Otherwise, I can guarantee you to do what we did in the last 7 years. The next 7 years is going to be doing the same. I'm talking from a technical perspective, like loopholes. You're going to continue getting people, and they're going to continue leaving because those black holes, they're sucking a lot of wealth from from all of us, and you don't want to be bringing people that they lose money and then they go, and that's going to start sounding like a Ponzi scheme. We really need to deliver on the promise of this technology and not, shoot each other or whatnot. So thank you for bringing this up. And I'm not sure what's the next step on that. Like, my question is that do you think of next step? Are you suggesting that Bitcoin Pay maybe take on a lead in that, or what's?
I think it's hard to give up with one community. Being honestly, so it's a struggle, right? I think we need maybe to find a few leaders and band together, because then if it's a voluntary initiative, there's no incentives. If we're all there to prop each other up, like maybe somebody takes like the right lead and something else, but we're all still working together and communicating across Canada. I know sometimes people like in Vancouver or Montreal, they're like, well, we're here too, but it's all about Toronto have to lead. But how do we include them too, so that they help us raise our whole profile?
So I'm just going to ask a question for folks so they can just raise their hand if they would say yes to that. And I was not, incentivized by anybody to say what I'm going to say next. Okay. I do things without any necessarily incentive, and I'm definitely selfless in that. So, any of you would agree? Raise your hand. Every time there's certain things, say like Bitcoin Pay is doing those meetups every 2 weeks. Would you spend $100 into Bitcoin Pay to continue, give them the incentive to continue doing that on you individually, and invite a guest who's going to spend $100 just to continue having that? Please raise your hand. If you spend $100 every 2 weeks, every time you go, you spend $100. I want to see you in the audience.
Okay, Toufi priced it too high. Anybody Okay.
My point here is that there's something that's going to have certain incentives for folks to continue to deliver on a certain thing that you expressed. And if in a room like this, I don't get the majority of people raising hands for a cause like this, because that $100 is not necessarily going to that event for the 2 hours. It's actually going to support the team during 2 weeks to make those 2 or 3 hours happen and continue building that community to get to certain goals of what you've expressed. So that's why I think folks, they need to step up a little bit more.
I partially disagree with that. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So I partially disagree with you, because putting a price tag on it, definitely, I generally don't pay for any marketing events whatsoever. That's one of my rules. I don't pay to play. That's not how it generally works. But we contribute in terms of time, effort.
I ain't playing with you, man.
Say again?
I ain't playing with you.
No, but the point is, why do we need a again, it's decentralized world. Why do we want to put the focus on one community to have all the burden to fix one problem? Instead, if every company that opens up their doors and say, if you want to talk about this type of problems, come in and let's just chat. And that's what we have done. It's every 2 weeks we have Blockhack, where a bunch of developers come in and talk about their senior developer problems, even junior developer problems, saying I'm stuck here. And we have developers who have solved that problem and just like unblock them, and that's what we consistently do. And if every company, whatever they're trying to solve a problem, we keep doing that, then we don't need to worry about, like, I'm not saying Bitcoin is irrelevant. What I'm saying is that we don't have to put a stress on them to take care of all the burden. And that we don't have to put the money on it. We can put effort as well.
I think
Yeah,
Sasha had
okay.
a point.
So I work with Bitcoin Day, and I just want to bring up a point, like
Please.
an example. So Andreas Antonopoulos addressed the Canadian Senate about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we need to like lobby the government and do something like that. Like I mean that was just one person, right? Like so if you had like
I think
Big
too
one.
like I feel like we talk too much in these communities about what the government's going to do to make our lives easier. Like I think the projects that are making the change in the world don't care about these kind of things.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I'm with you.
I understand what you're saying, but we need this adoption, and that's not going to start coming in until some kind of.
I don't think that's
So governments are motivated by 2 things. Revenue and job price. So if we do 2 things, we show that we're creating jobs, right? And they're able to get money, revenue via taxes, they'll bend over backwards for us. We're not doing that anyways. So why would they waste
Uber
the
and
tax
Airbnb as
money?
an example, right?
What?
Uber and Airbnb as an example. If you were illegal, in some cases they're still illegal, but it's adoption, now they have to accept it in a way. So,
But
something
they
like
have money to lobby, so can I just, one more time. When I worked in government for 10 years, I relied on my communities, on my small manufacturers. I wasn't out there, like lots of people stay inside the shop. And when I get a submission that says, oh, I left Canada because of XYZ, I need this to stay competitive, I have X amount of jobs, but I'm concerned. Like all these little anecdotes are so helpful, not just for the policy submission that's right now, but there's gonna, at some point, they're gonna build a ecosystem or legislative framework that talks about taxes, that talks about maybe real estate law, what the different taxonomy, it's gonna happen, and they're gonna look back because all they got were these submissions in early days. And so we need to communicate. We're not communicating. This is why it's so important. Guys, submit. I don't care how. Let government
I still think
know.
we're talking about 2
Okay,
things.
yeah,
But you gotta start the
Guys,
conversation.
I think the
Yeah,
Canada
I think
topic,
we
it
can
seems
walk-
like the Canada topic is not everyone, so I think like half of the room is willing to collaborate, be more inclusive in the Canadian space, and some are more global, which is okay, we're totally a global community as well. So I think we can, after this, Max is gonna do a roundtable on the Canadian regulations, so we are gonna reach out to do that one, which will be more focused like that, and you had one last point, which was on the incentivization.
Yeah, so I think what I'm hearing, if I can kind of step back, it sounds like there's this agenda of moving that we want to move forward. And there's a need potentially, and I think what we were trying to highlight is the need for funding to support the individuals who are participating in pushing that agenda forward. So it sounds a little bit like, when you ask everyone, hey, are you willing to pay to be able to support that agenda? I think, again, this sounds like I can't help but relate this to exactly the work we're doing now, which is we're taking value of an existing market today, and we're paying people rather than having centralized organizations consume that value, particularly as it relates to data and attention. And in Toronto, I heard someone comment on the lack of adoption. In Toronto, 15% of the city uses funds today. In the last 12 months, without any trade volumes or exchange volumes, over 4 million transactions have happened, and over $1.1 million has been paid to users and spent at local shops. So I think instead of thinking about people taking money out of their own pocket, I think the question is how do we take an existing system, democratize the value derived from it, and allow people to use that to contribute to, let's say, a form of a DAO of some sort that allows people who participate in the objectives of that organization to be funded to actually achieve their goals. So it's very much something